I get a weird question all the time, which is, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands on a date? What do I do with my hands in a meeting? What do I do with my hands while standing, while sitting? If you feel like Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights, what do I do with my hands? You are not alone. In this video, I want to tell you exactly what to do with your hands and why. I want you to keep in mind the two C's. First, hands should be calm. We like to see people's hands that are calm. In fact, if we see someone who's anxiously wringing their hands or rubbing their hands, makes us feel a little bit nervous. If we see people making a fist, so if we see tension in people's hands, or they're clenching their fists, or they're gripping the table or gripping chair arms, that also reminds us of tension. So the very first thing is, whatever you are doing with your hands, wherever you are, keep your hands relaxed, nice and calm. The second thing we like to know with hand gestures is confident. So what do confident hands mean? We are often looking to people's hands for cues of their confidence. And the way that we look at this is, are our hands being purposeful? Are they helping emphasize or explain points? So for example, there was a research study that looked at leaders showing different hand gestures. So a pointing gesture, a steeple gesture, a prayer gesture, a contemplative gesture. They showed 7 of these pictures to participants, and participants picked their favorite hand position. Can you guess which one it was? Can you guess which one it was? It was the steeple gesture. So the steeple gesture is when we place our fingers, the tips of our fingers touching, so it looks like a little church steeple. This is a very confident hand gesture. Why? One is I can't have any tension in my hands, right? It's impossible for me to clench my fist. So it shows calm, that first C. Second is it shows that I am trying to be put together. I'm trying to be grounded and centered. You can also see my intention. You can see the palms of my hands. We really like seeing the palms of people's hands. We really love palms. I know that sounds crazy, but when we can see someone's palms, it's like we can see their intention. We know they're not concealing anything from us. We know they're not hiding anything from us. So this is basically a way to show your palms without being like, hi, 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 which would be awkward. So this is a really powerful gesture. You might notice I use this gesture. So when I was thinking about the cover of my book Cues and we weren't sure what gesture to pick, I used that research study which showed this, that we love the steeple. It shows confidence, it shows palms. That is why I chose that gesture. So when you're thinking, when you're contemplating, if this feels comfortable, use this gesture. That's a great gesture you can use while sitting, even while standing. If you watch Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary loves the steeple. The other thing that I want you to think about is using explanatory gestures. So when you're explaining something, can you use your hands to demo your concepts? Now, this is not interpretive dance, so I don't want you to be like, when the sun comes out, I feel loving and my heart is... So not that demonstrative, but more like if you're mentioning 2 different things, mention the 2, right? This looks like a bunny. Mention 2 little things. That's what I do with my daughter. No, mention the 2 things. If something is big, say this is a huge deal. This is a really big deal. This really matters to me, like beach ball big. If it's small, if it's no big deal, just show it's really small. Like it's no big deal. If you're gonna absolutely take care of it, you're gonna take care of everything. You're gonna wipe the slate clean. Show them you're gonna wipe the slate clean. If it's from your heart, if it really means something, show them it's from your heart, right? So these gestures are subtle, but they emphasize words, and that's what confident people do. They emphasize their words. Rapid fire round. Let's answer these scenarios real quick. What to do with your hands while speaking? While speaking, you want to keep your hands at rest when you're in between points, and explanatory when you're actually explaining something. So the steeple at rest or loose hands in front of you. While I'm speaking, sometimes I like to hold a pen or a clicker so I can point to things on the board. If I have my clicker, I'm clicking my slides. So think calm and confident. Listening, explaining, using explanatory gestures. What to do with your hands while sitting. So if I'm sitting, let's take out my chair so I can really show you. I always stand for my videos because it gives me a little bit more vocal power. But let's say that I'm sitting. So a really nice thing to do is to have your hands resting in your lap. So I'm putting these up for you because you can't actually see my lap, but I'm gonna have them resting in my lap. I also love a chair with armrests, so I can rest my hands on the armrest. That's also a nice way to keep your hands calm as well as visible. I also might put my hands in front of me on the desk. and keep them nice and relaxed. Like we're not going like this, right? We're not gripping them. We're not wringing them. We're not tapping them, right? Those are all anxious gestures. We have our hands nice and at rest. You also might consider having a little notebook and a pen, or you can have them ready to take notes at your computer. So seated, resting in front of you, resting on the armrests, resting in front of you, and of course, the steeple. What to do with your hands while standing? Okay, so full admission here, I used to have a terrible habit. When I would stand, I would cross one arm over my body, I would grip my other arm, and then I would like clench my fists. So I would have this gripped, and I'd have my fist gripped, and I would try to talk to people like this. Oh, it was horrible. So I have trained myself to bend at the elbow. So I find that if I'm always bending at the elbow, I can gesture out, I can reach out and gesture towards you, and I can keep my hands at rest. So if you are standing at a networking event, at a bar, at a party, at a club, try bending your elbows and keeping them at rest, or at rest, or pro tip, carry a drink. So whenever I walk into a networking event, a bar, a party, a meeting, a barbecue, the very first thing I do is grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee, grab a drinky drink, and I will hold my drink out next to me so that it's a really easy way to anchor my hands. That way I don't feel like I have to put them in my pockets. I don't feel like I have to hide them. I don't fidget with them. So I highly recommend hold a cup or a drink or a clicker or a pen if you're in a business situation. That can really help anchor your hands. What to do with your hands while dancing? I mean, you can do the snaps. Can you like that? Yeah. No, I do not know what you do with your hands while dancing. That is not what this video is about. Look, gotta watch another video for that one. Don't do the snaps. Don't do this. That's not gonna win you any friends. I mean, unless you're at my party, but I don't really throw parties, so don't do those while dancing. And a few hand gesture traps to end. Do not crack your knuckles. Ooh, it's gross. It's horrible. Oh. That's horrible, right? Do not crack your knuckles. It looks like anxiety. It's also super gross. Second trap, do not put your hands in your pockets. I specifically wear dresses with no pockets because I'm addicted to pockets, and if I'm wearing them, I want to put my hands in them. So try really hard not to put your hands in your pockets. If you have hidden hands, it really, really lowers your trust and your rapport building. If possible, hold something, reach out and talk to someone, rest your hands in front of you, but do not put your hands in pockets. Last trap here, do not use your hands to touch your face. It's a weird one, but research shows that when we touch our face, it makes us look even more anxious and deceptive. Liars often touch their face. So researchers looked at Bill Clinton's testimony during his Monica Lewinsky trial, and they found that when he lied, he touched his nose 26 times. When he told the truth, he touched his nose twice. And that is because when liars are really anxious, they rub at their nose, they touch their mouth, they cover their eyes, they get really fidgety. Try not to touch your face. It is a super anxiety cue. Try to make sure you keep that face looking good, guys. Don't touch it. So what to do with your hands? Keep them positive. Use a thumbs up. In fact, if you see a thumbs up under this video and you want to give it a like, I would really appreciate it. If you have more questions for me, like what to do with your hands, put them below the video so I can get ideas for other videos and I can answer your questions. Thanks so much for watching. Give this video a like, give it a subscribe. Check out cues if you want to read about more hand gestures, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. That's a gesture. Bye. I'm using my hands.